Deb here, and today in the U.S. it is Memorial Day. It's the Memorial Day weekend. Quite a different one than we're used to. No Indy 500, no, for us, no picnic or cookhouse. Somebody stole our grill. We don't live in the best neighborhood, but oh well. And it's just kind of different. But you know, Memorial Day is not about picnics and races. It's about remembering those who died serving our country. I'm curious to know when Memorial Days are in other countries, so those of you from other countries, maybe you could tell me. I'm just curious. Anyway, I'm going to try to link my military dolls video below because I've already done my military dolls, so I thought I would feature 4 actors who served during wartime and tell you a little bit about their service and then about the doll. So, might surprise some of you that Art Carney is a World War II veteran and he was injured. Let's see, let me get his, okay, he was in the Army, he was injured in France, he was wounded and he limped for the rest of his life. I didn't know any of this, I didn't know. This doll is from 1997, he's very much an articulated doll. Let's see if his knees, no ankle, elbows, and of course he doesn't move side to side but his head turns, and he's dressed in the Ed Norton character. They did a honeymoon series dolls in 1997 with at least the 4 main characters. I don't know, there weren't really many other people in the show, were there? But that, please stay for the still pictures. The likeness of Art Carney as Ed Norton is really remarkable. He's the only one I have of the honeymooners. Did I tell you 1997 by, it's a limited edition by exclusive premiere? That doesn't sound like a doll company, but that's what it said. 1997, Art Carney, World War II Army veteran. This next story is about James Arness, Matt Dillon from Gunsmoke. His story was really remarkable. He's also served in World War II. And, oh, somebody, one of the things said that Art Carney actually served in Normandy. So, good on you, pal. Okay, James Arness. He served in the Army. He was Rifleman 3rd Infantry. And he was severely injured in Italy, and how he was injured is quite interesting, I think. You know, James Arness was 6'7", and when his ship pulled up to the shore and they were about to unload and attack, he was the one who had to unload first because he's 6'7", and they wanted to measure the depth of the water based on him because they knew he would be safe. And it came up to his waist, but by him being the first one out, he was shot, and he was 18 months in rehabilitation. He received the Bronze Star and the Purple Heart. And let's see, is that all I wanted to tell you about his amazing service? Okay, here's the doll. Also 1997 by, well, why don't I read it on here? Exclusive Toy Products Incorporated. They did Best of the West. The only ones I saw were James West from Wild Wild West and Rowdy Clint Eastwood from his Western show. Go ahead and shout it. I can't hear you. What? Not Wagon Train. Anyway, they made Rowdy and Jim West, and neither one looks like the actor, but this is a remarkable likeness to James Arness. It's a great box. I don't want to take it out of the box. It says it's a limited edition, and of course it says numbered series 1 of 12,000, but I read somewhere that's not the actual number of your doll. I don't know why, but here's the back. Then it opens up and talks about Matt Dillon. Does it talk about? Yeah, it talks about the series Gunsmoke. And then it has, of course, a picture of him on the back. Comes with a gun belt and display stand. Maybe someday I will take him out, but I like him in the package. It says it's fully posable, so it must be articulated as well. So, James Arness, Army veteran. Had no idea that he had been through that. Okay, my next one is Humphrey Bogart. He volunteered for the Navy in 1918, and he's made by F&B, and I think it's called Movie Legends series. This doll is from 1988. It's a wonderful likeness. He's one of the examples of why I shouldn't watch other doll shows, because Barbie 0913 had him featured, and I thought, I have to have him. So, thanks, Barbie 0913. This is it's a wonderful doll. Socks, shoes, trench coat, shirt. Excuse me, Bogey. Has the little cuffed pants. Can you see that? And look at the hat. There's something really unusual about the hat. It has a strap to wear on his wrist. And here's the box, F&B. I got box and all. Here's the on the back. And then he comes with a stand. Certificate of authenticity. There. And this is the thing I found unusual. Let me get it out of the plastic. I forgot to talk about his service. He volunteered in 1918. His main job was to take American soldiers from U.S. to Europe and back again, but he also escorted prisoners. And the story goes that he was escorting a prisoner, and the prisoner tried to get loose and hit him in the mouth with a handcuffed wrist, and that gave him a scar that he had forever. And the famous way he spoke with a slight lisp came from the actual injury. And there's all kinds of stories about how it came to be, but his friend, I forget, it was an actor friend, said that that was the story that was actually true, that he was injured in the war. So that means all three of the ones I've talked about have been injured in the war. Anyway, what I was going to talk about this hat and the wrist thing, I have never seen, this notice says, I don't know why I'm shaking, that he's better to be displayed without his hat. I've never seen that done, but it came with that recommending that you leave his hat on his wrist. So Bogey is a World War I veteran. And if that story was true, then it's another example of God using something bad and turning it into something good. Because what would Bogey be without that famous way of speaking? Nobody was like him. He's one of my favorites. I just love his movies. Okay, and then my last veteran. Hopefully I told you everything I wanted to about Bogart. Let me check my notes. Yep. Okay, Jimmy Stewart. And he was more or less a career Army soldier. He served in World War II, and at first they assigned him to train pilots for B-17 bombers, but he knew that they weren't going to let him be in combat if he didn't keep pushing. At first he tried to enlist and he was too skinny, so he buffed up in order to be able to get in. So anyway, he was training B-17 bomber pilots, which Clark Gable was one of those. I don't know that he trained Clark Gable, but Clark Gable was a B-17 bomber pilot. Anyway, Jimmy Stewart served, and then he served in the reserves. He was in the Army Air Corps. He served in the reserves until 1968. He even flew one mission over Vietnam. So, being a soldier, well, it wasn't casual to anybody, is it? You have to be committed in order to do it. So this doll is from It's a Wonderful Life. I also have the Donna Reed doll, but it looks nothing like her, but I'll show you sometime. And here he is in his suit, and he's got his tag. And this doll was made in 1990 by World Doll. And there's the, I don't know if I can get that open. There you go. And got the cuff pants. And does he have socks? He does not have socks, and he has molded on shoes. Quite tall. Oops, it came out of his case, or his stand. Anyway, it's quite a patriotic man. Let's see. Do I have anything to tell you about Jimmy? Oh yeah, let's see. Bulked up. He got combat missions B-24 because he just wouldn't let up. He didn't want to be in the first motion picture unit. Gable was a combat, but then one of his plane got attacked. One fellow soldier died, and then 2 more were injured, and the shrapnel just missed Gable. So then Hollywood, MGM pulled some strings and got him into the first movie, what is it? First motion picture unit. Those people made training films and patriotic stuff, but Gable served several combat missions before they did that, and then the person who signed his discharge papers was Ronald Reagan. I saw it in a museum. Anyway, this is Jimmy Stewart from It's a Wonderful Life, and I have the box for that as well. Okay, Jimmy. At ease. Here is my World Doll. And this box, if you could see, Cary Grant's name is under there, so I don't know if this was not the box that goes to him, but it's stamped on the back with a number, and it says George Bailey. But it looks like the picture was pasted over. Sometimes they did that, though. I have a Grace Kelly that was made for the Swan, I think, or the Country Girl. And then that was so popular, they reissued a Magombo costume, and they used the same box, just put her in a Magombo outfit. So there's the World Doll box. They tell you that's from 1990. Yeah, let's see what I've got inside the box. Oh, I'll put another box in there. Okay, I've got the certificate of authenticity and a purchase record on the back. 9th Portrait Doll Edition in the movie Greats. It's all vinyl. 1991 nominee for a Doll's Award of Excellence, fully jointed body, portrait head. How about that? I'm very fortunate to have the boxes for these dolls. I don't have the box for Art Carney, but I'm still quite grateful to have him. I hope you like this combination Memorial Day movie stars edition, and some brave people came from Hollywood and were willing to sacrifice it all. So thank you to all the veterans, to all the families of veterans everywhere, not just the U.S., who sacrifice everything to make the world a better place, a safer place. And I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you will like. I hope you will subscribe. Instagram. If my pictures don't show up here, they'll be on Instagram. And it's Deb's Doll Room, all one word, no capitalization. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you have a safe, wonderful weekend, whether you're celebrating Memorial Day or just celebrating being alive. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope you like and subscribe. And thank you for your time. Toodles.